Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel English Literature. Today we're going to talk about an eminent figure, Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath life and works and timeline. Some writers are born to be perpetual exiles and think of themselves as sea creatures. This is said by Carl Rollison in his American Essays, The Life and Art of Sylvia Plath. And this line is true to its depth about Sylvia Plath. We'll discuss about Sylvia Plath and her works and her life through the timeline. So it will be more interesting and easy to comprehend. 27th October 1932. Sylvia Plath was born in Boston 3 weeks early at 2:10 p.m. at Robinson Memorial Hospital, while her family lives in Winthrop, Massachusetts. Her mother was Aurelia Scover Plath, and Otto Plath was his father. The name Sylvia was taken from the herb salvia and the poetic adjective sylvan. The name connotes Otto and Aurelia's interest. Otto was a professor of botany and Aurelia's love was poetry. 1934, Otto Plath was an entomologist and a professor of biology at Boston University. He publishes bumblebees and their OS. This is a landmark study in entomology. 1935, 27th April, Sylvia's brother Warren is born. Next, 1936, the family moved to Johnson Avenue in Winthrop Center near grandparents' covered home. 1938, 21st September, the Great New England Hurricane occurs. 1940, 5th November, Otto Plath dies of an embolism after an amputation. It is very sad. Sylvia and Warren do not attend the funeral, but the death of her father left lasting psychological scars on Plath. 1941, 10th August, Sylvia's first poem is published in the Boston Herald. 1942, Aurelia Plath, along with Scovers, her family, moves to 23rd Elmwood Road in Wellesley, Massachusetts, and Aurelia begins teaching at Boston University. Sylvia, from a very early childhood, wrote poems and stories. She was also proving her excellency as an artist. She often illustrates her own books, note cards, and sketchbooks. 1944, Sylvia enrolls in Alice L. Phillips Junior High School and begins keeping a journal and writes for her junior high school literary magazine, The Philippian. 20th January 1945, Sylvia and her mother attend a performance of The Tempest in Boston. 6-9 August 1945, atomic bombs dropped on Japan. Second World War was going on then. 1947, Sylvia enters Gamaliel Bradford Senior High School in Wellesley. During this time, she co-edits the school newspaper, The Bradford. 1950, Sylvia is accepted as a scholarship student at Smith College. Northampton, Massachusetts, and lives on campus in Haven House. She publishes a story in 17 and a poem in the Christian Science Monitor. August 1950, Sylvia publishes And Summer Will Not Come Again, only at the age of 17. 1950 to 51, a scholarship student at Smith College, Plath begins dating Dick Norton. And who is Dick Norton? If you read Belger, Sylvia Plath's novel, there is a character, Bardi Willard. And that character is modeled on Sylvia Plath's friend Dick Norton. 1951 to 1952, she works at a hotel and then as a mother's helper to earn spending money. 1952, Sylvia's short story Sunday at the Mintons wins a prize and is published in Monarchy. 1952, she was chosen as a guest editor in Mademoiselle's College board contest for 1 month in New York City as a magazine editor. But that new life that she encounters, they are abundant with expensive meals. That not will be nil, it will be mill. Meeting celebrities, parties, dressing, wine, gossip, and all those things seem artificial to her. At first she enjoys these things, but later she feels that where lies the values of these things, and this mentality will find in the bell jar. His general disillusionment is reflected clearly in her novel, The Bell Jar. The bell jar, you are suffocated, you are just strangulated, you are confined within the bell jar. You can't go outside of it. 1953 June, Plath experiences an intense period in New York City at Mademoiselle and finds it exhilarating. Then exhausting. We just discussed this point. Why exhilarating and then exhausting? At first she enjoys everything, but later she gets disillusioned with these things. So it was at the same time exhilarating and at the same then exhausting. And returning home to Wellesley in late June, she becomes depressed and then receives electroconvulsive shock treatment on 24th August. And then she attempts suicide. 1954, she returns to Smith for the spring semester. She attends Harvard Summer School. 1955, Sylvia graduates summa cum laude and leaves for England as a Fulbright scholar at Newnham College, Cambridge. By early May, the news got even better. Sylvia was awarded the Mademoiselle Guest's editorship. She had been selected by the magazine's college board, headed by Mary Beth Little. Now, September 1955, Plath arrives in England. And then the romance starts. 25th February 1956, first meeting with Ted Hughes. But I feel they should not have met. Maybe it will better for Sylvia if they should not met. But nothing is in my hand and nothing was in their hand. Now, 16th June 1956, Plath and Hughes married secretly with her mother in attendance. 1957, Plath earns her Cambridge degree and the couple moves to America. 1957, Plath and Hughes summer at Cape Cod. Then they move to Northampton. There Sylvia begins teaching freshman English at Smith for the year, while Ted obtains a part-time teaching position at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. 1958, the couple moves to Boston and Sylvia resumes treatment with Dr. Ruth Beuscher. And this character of this doctor you will find again in the Belgier. She takes part-time jobs to concentrate on her writing so that he can earn and at the same time she can get time for her writing. 1959, she enrolls in Robert Lowell's poetry seminar and meets the poets Annie Sexton and George Starbuck. Sylvia and Ted spend the summer at Yaddo, the writers' colony in Saratoga Springs, New York, and then sail in December to return to England. 1960, Plath and Hughes rent a London flat. 1st April, Freda Rebecca, their first child, is born. October 1960, The Colossus, Plath's first book, is published in England. 1961, 6th February, Plath has a miscarriage. It is very sad. 28th February 1961, the same year, Plath undergoes an appendectomy. So one after another, Plath is experiencing something bad. March 1961, Plath begins writing The Belgier. 1961 July, the couple purchased a manor house, Port Green in North Taunton, Devon. 17th January 1962, Nicholas Farrar Hughes is born. May 1962, David and Asia Weevil visit Port Green. Bad omen. I don't mean this. I mean this. July 1962, Sylvia Plath receives a call that kills their marriage. Plath discovers her husband's infidelity with Asia Weevil. Actually, when I say a bad omen, it is what to say, true fact. Like, omen is always bad. There is nothing as bad omen or good omen. The meeting and meeting of Asia Weevil and Ted Hughes just ended in their illicit relationship. Illicit in the sense that Ted Hughes in a marriage bond with Sylvia Plath, and when Sylvia Plath was already distressed with her life and find her husband's infidelity, it was a great shock for her. She could not take it. The couple separates and Hughes moves to London. 1962 October. 1962 December, Plath moves to a London flat with her 2 children. 1963 January, The Belgier is published in England under the pseudonym Victoria Lucas. You have to remember this point, it is very important. 1963 11th February, Plath commits suicide in her London flat. 1965, Ted Hughes published her poem collection, Ariel. 1966, The Belgier is published in England under Plath's name. Previously, it was published under a pseudonym, Victoria Lucas. Do you remember? Now it is published in Plath's name in 1966. 1969, 23rd March, Asia Weevil commits suicide. It is very sad and unfortunate. Actually, Asia started living with Ted Hughes, but they were not married. Ted Hughes never married Asia, and this frustrated Asia. And Asia started using Plath's dresses, Plath's things. Actually, Asia started living Plath's life, and she also gets frustrated with her life. And it is more pathetic that she commits suicide along with her 4-year-old daughter Sora from Ted Hughes. Okay. 1970, Ted Hughes marries Carol Orchard. Tedus was already dating Carol Orchard, who was very junior to him when she was in relationship with Asia Weevil. 1971, The Bell Jar was published in the United States. It was sold more than 2 million copies. 1975, Aurelia, who is Aurelia? Plath's mother, collected and edited her daughter's letters and published them as Letters Home. Hughes published the collected poems by Sylvia Plath, 1981 and 1982. The collected poems is awarded the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry posthumously, obviously. She was dead already. Sylvia Plath. I love her. I really love her. I love to read her poems. And I enjoy Belger. I got this book from Amazon, but I feel that this book has something, it is from a library, and I can smell a long distance from where it is sent. Peter Frame, A Life of Sylvia Plath. It is very, very interesting story, and the language is awesome. Okay, thank you for sharing your time with me, for sharing your time with Sylvia Plath. Thank you. Thank you very much.